Today is the day we finally find out whether or not Klint Kubiak is going to come to the Raiders or stay in Seattle. It's a big day for Raider Nation because we've been anticipating this day for a very long time, and hopefully the Raiders can get something done with Klint Kubiak and we don't have to worry about it moving forward. But before we get started with today's video, and if you're wondering what the hell's been going on with my channel, well, if you guys don't already know, my channel previously got hacked, my main channel. So this is my backup channel. If anything, I'm in contacts with YouTube to getting it back pretty soon. So hopefully that happens. But if not, I'm gonna continue to roll out with more videos daily on this channel. So if you guys haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and that notification icon button if you really support an OOS. That being said, we already know that the head coaching race is coming down to Klint Kubiak or bust. And as of yesterday, we heard a lot of rumblings going around that Klint Kubiak will most likely go to the Raiders or the Cardinals. Now, according to Ryan McFadden and some news that came out yesterday, with Klint Kubiak expected to meet with the Raiders tomorrow, basically today, the belief is that he will take the Las Vegas job or stay in Seattle. Arizona obviously has an opportunity to state its case, but Las Vegas seems to be the heavy favorite. So like I said, it seems like it's the Raiders or staying in Seattle, and I don't really blame him. Now, this wasn't the only time that this was stated. Jeremy Fowler also went on air and talked about it, saying that the sense around the league is that Klint Kubiak would want the Raiders job. If not, he'd go back to Seattle.
The Cardinals and the Raiders, what's the latest in this situation?
Klint Kubiak, Seattle OC, Kevin, is the belle of the ball right now. The Raiders want to talk to him tomorrow in Seattle. So do the Arizona Cardinals. My sense in league circles talking to people is that he would prefer the Raiders job over the Cardinals if he does go that route. It is not a slam dunk he leaves Seattle. He's been with multiple teams over the years, just moved his family to the Northwest. So it would take the right kind of situation for him to lead, but it is believed that the target for Las Vegas and that #1 pick with Fernando Mendoza would be Kubiak.
Now, one thing that was really interesting in what he said is the fact that it's not a slam dunk that he leaves Seattle. And that's a bit of a different tune from what Adam Schefter said yesterday, saying that Klint Kubiak will most likely take one of these two jobs, whether it's the Raiders or the Cardinals.
Who's Kubiak getting? Which job?
Well, he's going to get the Raiders or he's going to get the Cardinals job.
Okay, so he's definitely getting one of those jobs.
He's definitely getting one of those jobs.
Nonetheless, we all know that the Raiders are all in on Klint Kubiak. He's the guy that we want. I think that's the main reason why the Raiders waited so long to hire somebody, because they want to see how long it takes for Klint Kubiak to become available. Now going to the Super Bowl, it throws a bit of a wrench in the Raiders searching hire. But today is the day, Raider Nation. Today is the day that the Raiders meet with Klint Kubiak up in Seattle and have that in-person interview. And with so much reports going around that the Raiders will find their next head coach by the end of this week, all signs and all eyes point to Klint Kubiak, the Raider Nation's favorite. He's one of the highly touted offensive coordinators going into the head coaching search. And if the Raiders can get this done, man, that'll be a huge slam dunk for this team, a huge W for this team, and would definitely make the wait worth it. Now, something interesting that came out yesterday, or came out this morning, was the fact that Mark Davis was seen dining with Klint Kubiak the day before he had his interview today with the Raiders. Now, this tweet is coming for Seahawks Forever, so take it as you will. But he tweeted out a text from my former coworker just now. Klint Kubiak dining with Davis. Second interview for the Raiders at my old restaurant. So much for meeting on Saturday. And some people didn't know if it was true or not. He shared the screenshot, him going back and forth with his old coworker. So like I said, take it as you will, whether it's true or not. But I thought it was interesting that Mark Davis would be sitting down with Klint Kubiak a day before they have their official interview. I think that Mark Davis is getting a feel out for Klint Kubiak. Hopefully he doesn't scare him away, because that's the only option that we have left right now at the head coaching position. If not, we're looking at other guys like Mike LaFleur, Ejiro Evero, so on and so forth. Now, another interesting tweet that I seen from Ted from The Athletic, he tweeted out at this point that Kubiak has all the leverage. Also, the Raiders have to make him a grandfather offer to make any thoughts of staying in Seattle go away. The deal is going to be record-breaking and likely by a margin too. Ultimately, it'll be about selling franchise stability with Brady in the fold and how much Kubiak believes in Mendoza. How much film has he watched while prepping in the postseason? And he makes a lot of good points. I know I brought it up yesterday that the Raiders job, I think, is one of the more enticing jobs out there, especially over the Cardinals. But it's one thing to say, yes, I'll take the job, and it's another thing to give him some long-term stability, because the Raiders haven't had no long-term coach in the past 3-4 regimes. So him coming over here, it would be a big risk. But also, if we have a plan in place and we're giving him some time to build out the team that he wants and in the vision that he has with this team alongside of Tom Brady and John Spytek, then it'll make a lot of sense. But the future is there, the cap space is there, and the quarterback that you want is sitting right there at #1. So I feel like with all those being said, the Raiders job should be more than enough for Klint Kubiak to want to leave Seattle. On top of that, I know that Mark Davis isn't shy from opening up that checkbook and making him the highest paid coach, at least for right now. But for me, I'll believe it when I see it, because it's one thing to get a verbal agreement, but that is not official. And until we see pen to paper, I'll believe it and I'll get excited. But getting that verbal agreement is the first step in getting our next head coach. I know a lot of people are worried about the offense coordinator and defense coordinators, the coaching staff that he would bring in, but I feel like he already has a plan in place if he was to become the next head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders. Another big question that I took away from this, and something that I don't think a lot of people are talking about, is the fact that the Raiders do need a veteran quarterback, at least a bridge quarterback, whether they start or compete with Fernando Mendoza moving forward. And a lot of people are looking at Kirk Cousins because he most likely might get cut. But another quarterback that I feel like not many people are talking about is the quarterback that's already in the locker room right now, Geno Jeffrey Smith. Say what you will about Geno Smith. He had his best time in Seattle under Klint Kubiak and, of course, Pete Carroll. But Klint Kubiak had a lot of praise for Geno Smith, and he looks at Geno Smith a certain way than a lot of other people would, especially a lot of Raider fans that won't want him over here. If we're looking for a veteran quarterback, why not stay in-house? And hearing all the great things that he's said about Geno Smith with his time over there with the Seahawks, I wouldn't rule it out of the realm of possibility that he could stay another year under Klint Kubiak.
Geno is a very aggressive player, have a lot of production. Obviously, he's been doing it for a long time. He's overcome a lot in his career. I have a lot of respect for Geno. Was a huge draw to come here and be able to get to coach him, alongside Andrew Janocko. So we have high expectations for him. We're going to push Geno and get the best out of him, and we'll do that by pushing his teammates as well. It's not just his show; it's a team thing, and he's got to be the head of that. I think Geno's tough as nails. I think you look at the guy in the fourth quarter and he goes and wins football games. That excites me. It fires me up. I've watched his career, studying him more now than I ever have before. But you just, you think about a guy that's been through a lot of adversity, the guy that's been knocked off the high horse and had to claw his way back into the starter's role, and then he comes back the last 2 years and, wins more games in the fourth quarter than anybody in the NFL. That's a guy that I want to coach.
Now, I'm not going to lie with you guys. I would not be opposed to it if Klint Kubiak was down for it. But what are your thoughts, Raider Nation? What do you think about Klint Kubiak? Do you guys believe that we will find our head coach or finally solidify a verbal agreement with Klint Kubiak today? If anything breaks, I'll let you guys know on this channel. And if this is the very first time you guys come across this channel, of course, like I said, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. I'll keep you guys updated with everything going on with the Raiders. I hope you guys are having a great Saturday. Until the next video, this is your boy, Some More Raider, and your boy is, yeah.